Smarterfan.
Hey everybody, welcome to another segment of Smarterfan podcast, where we bring you behind the veil of sports, business, and life. I'm Joe, this is Barry. How you doing, Barry?
I'm doing awesome, Joe. Man, there's so much going on. This new digital sports world is off the chain, Joe. How you feeling? How's the wife?
She's hanging in there. She's
Good,
doing all right.
good. I know I know you playing in-home nurse now. Keep up
Mm-hmm.
the good work, bro. Keep up the good
Yeah,
work.
yeah. So, first thing I want to do is I want to give a shout out to our friends in Botswana.
What? We hit
Yeah, man.
Africa, the motherland?
Angola.
What?
Yeah, man. Mali.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Mm,
Timbuktu.
That's right. Northern Macedonia.
What? Eastern
Cro-
Europe?
yeah, man. And Croatia and Serbia.
Oh, my peoples.
And our friends in Russia, in
Yeah. I gotta get
India,
that blood. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and Pakistan,
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
and the great old US of A.
Oh, we're climbing up the ladder. That is amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing. So
Thank
we
you.
gotta do a special Smarter Fan family. Today's a very a moving day that will forever live in Smarter Fans history, thanks to you, because I believe, based on our metrics, we've hit we've hit every continent, we've hit every country except three in Latin America. So this is a huge day for us. And
Hmm.
that is only possible because you guys are watching, you're liking, you're sharing, you're commenting, you're pushing us. So we're getting closer to our website landing page where you'll be able to put in your email. There's a whole community thing that we're creating of Smarter Fan community. So you guys can talk with us, you guys can talk with each other. There's going to be an exciting time. So developers said it should be ready by the end of the month.
Mm.
So we just want to give a big shout out to the world because of you, because we're everywhere. So
Yeah.
we're looking for our people in the islands of the sea. We're looking for more of our Asian influence. We want to be where you are and talk about what you want to talk about because that feature's coming too. Well, you'll be able to tell us what you want us to talk about on the upcoming shows. So some fun times are ahead of us. Stay with us, keep sharing, and thanks again. And we love you and we appreciate you.
Yes. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, folks. We appreciate you. All right. So tonight I'm going to talk about a man who was the voice of New York, and that was Marty Glickman.
Yeah, wow.
So, yeah, now he was born in the Bronx in 1917, and he was a track and football star at James Madison High School and Syracuse University.
Wow.
So now, as an 18-year-old, he was a 18-year-old sprinter. He made the U.S. Olympic team for the 4x100 in the Berlin Olympics in
Really?
1936.
So
Now,
was he running with Jesse?
yes, yes,
Wow.
and which was interesting because just before they were supposed to run in their event, him and his fellow Jewish athlete friend Sam Stoller, they got pulled from the event. Now,
Wow.
yeah, and the reason for that was because uh, they were afraid of embarrassing Hitler if those two Jewish runners had won. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
But here's the ironic part about that. They were replaced by Ralph Metcalf and Jesse Owens. So Hitler got embarrassed anyway.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So now there's no written proof of this removal, but it was later stated many years later that that was clearly the case, that it was because of the Nazis,
Huh? Huh?
because they were Jewish.
Wow.
So now he was
Wow.
in the Marines in World War II, and then he became the voice of the New York Knicks in '46 when the Knicks came into the league. Now he did that for 21 years, and he also announced for the Giants for 23 years,
Wow.
and he coined the term "swish."
Are you serious?
Yeah, he coined that term. So now he was the very first TV announcer for the NBA.
Really?
And yeah, yeah. And he was also the first announcer for the New York Nets before the merger.
Wow.
So, and he also was an announcer at Yonkers Raceway for 12 years.
Boy, this guy stayed busy.
Oh yeah, yeah. And he announced for the Jets for 11 years. So
Marty got like 5 or 6 checks rolling in.
I'm
Marty
telling
is
you, man.
busy.
So now, other than his broadcasts, he was also a mentor. He mentored Marv Albert,
Wow.
Spencer Ross, Johnny Most, and Jim Kelly.
Really?
Yeah, he announced for a short period, So
Interesting.
yeah. So now Glickman was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in '91.
Hmm.
And he retired from broadcasting in '92 at the age of 74. And now he underwent heart bypass surgery in December of 2000, and he died of complications in January of 2001.
Oh, wow.
And he was 83 years old. But
Wow.
the man wore many, many hats.
You know what? I would wonder if the University of Syracuse, because they have a huge media platform and broadcast journalism, I wonder if they named a building up there for him. I'm sure they did.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I have to look into that.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. Wow, what a fascinating history.
Yeah. So now, Torry Holt. Now let me ask you: is he in the Hall of Fame?
Technically not yet. Technically not yet. What is really strange about it is at least 3 or 4 of his teammates on the same team. Warner and the running back, Marshall Faulk,
Oh yeah.
are in, and another receiver is in, and another teammate, but he's not in. But he has better stats than most receivers in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are y'all guys doing? But this goes back to our previous show where we talked about the Hall of Fame. Is it legit? Is it time for it to be revamped? Because this doesn't make any sense. And this is not a one-off.
Right.
We just witnessed this foolishness with probably one of the greatest coaches, at least top 5, definitely top 10, and Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Because of personal off-field stuff that has nothing to do with the sport. And these guys, whoever they are, like to throw rocks and hide their hands, and it has to stop because it's ruining the brand. If for no other reason, people are not going to pay attention. And the Hall of Fame induction is a major moneymaker for the NFL.
Yeah.
So they're risking a lot if they don't revamp it.
Yeah.
So Roger Goodell, if you can hear me, Roger, you need to fix this.
Yeah. I mean,
tell the owners they're screwing. They're gonna mess it up, like baseball messed it up and had to do all kind of shady stuff to get people back in the stadium. You're gonna run into that because it's been losing its shine over the last few years because it's so glaring. These athletes that they're missing.
Yeah, and Holt was part of the greatest show on turf.
Yeah, how do you have the quarterback in and not the receiver who caught the passes? And I'm not talking about a few of them. I'm talking about this dude. Stats are better than most of the ones who are inducted. So how is he is not in there? That doesn't even make any sense. But this is the story. That's why when I saw it, I wanted to talk about it. I mean, we're talking about somebody whose career remains one of the most underrated stories in NFL history.
Mm-hmm.
The numbers are crazy. I mean, really crazy. Holt was, again, as you stated, one of the main vital components of the greatest show on turf,
Yeah.
helping the Rams win that Super Bowl. I
Yeah.
mean, this guy had dominance from 2000 to 2009. We're not talking about 4 seasons, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about
Right.
5 seasons. We're talking about literally, he almost had 10 years as the guy,
Yeah. Yeah.
the guy,
Hmm.
which is crazy, right? And then you got Marvin Harrison, great receiver. He's in there, and many others. And it's just disrespectful.
Yeah.
Like guys he had better numbers than are in the Hall of Fame, and he's out.
Hmm.
That it just, again, these type of things are tarnishing the legitimacy and the value that these guys have sacrificed to make it to the Hall of Fame because people have personal whatever. And see, this also fuels the conversation, Joe, that people who haven't played the game or really understand the game shouldn't have such a big voice in the game, no matter what their title is in the game,
Yeah.
because they can't evaluate real talent.
It reminds me of what Gorilla Monsoon used to always say. It's a travesty of justice.
You always come with those statements. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it
So,
really is.
so
I mean, how do you have almost dominance for 10 years
mm,
and you don't get into the Hall of Fame? When
mm,
guys maybe had 5, 6 high seasons, nothing not to spit on them. This dude dominated almost a decade.
mm. Well,
Anyway,
talk about dominance. The New York Knicks, they
yeah,
uh, they pulled it off against the Hawks in Game One with a 113-102 victory. You
okay.
know, now Brunson he scored most of his points in the first half, and he kind of like got boxed out in the second half. But he did enough for them to win. And to say this game was physical is understating the matter because between the kicks to the groin and the
Kicks
elbows
to the
to the
groin.
head,
They
yeah,
playing football now?
by the Hawks, yeah, I mean,
What's going on out there?
it was more like a knockdown drag out, you know.
Oh man.
But the Knicks came out on top, and that's all that matters, you know. So
Okay.
we'll have to see how it progresses. Now,
Interesting.
now the Celtics, man, they ran the Sixers out of the building.
That's what it looked like.
I
I
mean,
mean, they was like, yeah, nah. And Jason looked like he's trying to make a statement. Yeah, I'm out, but I'm back.
oh, he didn't.
Um,
He's rejuvenated.
yeah, he looks back with like a vengeance.
You
Like
know,
really.
yeah, he put up 25 and 11. And they beat them
Ooh.
123-91. I
Ooh.
mean, I know they're missing Embiid.
It don't matter.
But
He
yeah,
probably back in the training room eating hamburgers. It don't matter.
you're right. You're right. So, I mean, at one point the Celtics were up by 35.
Hmm.
So.
I'm trying to tell you right now, Joe. I said in those Embiid, I'd be surprised if Embiid's in the league within 3 years. He's on
Hmm.
his way out.
Yeah.
And it has more to do with his body and his mindset. It's just,
Now.
he's in that vortex right now. He's done.
Hmm.
He's done.
Yeah. Well, now the Magic, they jumped up and bit the Pistons in the ass.
Really? Them
I
young
mean,
boys. Them young boys.
yeah, they beat them 112-101.
Them
And
young boys.
I'm telling you, man, Detroit, they came out rusty, and those young boys were ready to play.
Yeah, they ran them off the court. They blink twice. Them young boys will sweep them.
I mean, it was just crazy. That was a shock, I think, to everybody, especially since they were an eighth seed. You know.
It's matchups. It's matchups. You know what I mean? The Pistons are trying to come in. They're playing a little bully ball. It's like the classic. Like when you see an NFL team that's one is big and then one is fast. Speed always beats power because if power doesn't dominate early enough and make you quit on speed, speed will kill you, man.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald wasn't the biggest guy, but his relentlessness with those big offensive linemen, he started to throw around in the whole game. What are you gonna do with it?
Yeah, definitely. So now the Thunder talk about running somebody out of the building. I mean, they beat the Suns 119-84.
Yeah, they getting swept. That's why Dylan had to like do a karate chop on a Chet. That was they get frustrated. That's what he's known to do. And when I see stuff like that, the other team knows they ain't got an answer.
Right. Yeah.
They don't have an answer.
Speaking of not having an answer, the Spurs, they beat the Trailblazers, and Wemby went off.
Really?
I mean, he put up 35 points, and he passed Tim Duncan's record for a player making his playoff debut with the Spurs. So Duncan had 32 points in his debut with the Spurs in the playoffs.
He's a problem.
And, I mean, the Blazers, they were throwing everything at Wemby, and he was just scoring on everybody. They couldn't stop him.
No. The more he plays and the more comfortable he gets and the more weapons he develops, he's going to be a problem.
Yep.
And it's just not – I mean, imagine him – this is going to sound crazy, Joe. Imagine with him with 10 pounds, 15 pounds of muscle. Because he still doesn't have his grown man body yet.
Oh, no, not yet. No.
So imagine if he can, by God's grace, avoid injury.
And the Admiral and Tim Duncan were on hand watching.
Oh, absolutely. I know Pop is jumping up and down like, ooh, look like we're going back to the circle.
Oh, well, he gave him a pep talk earlier in the week.
Oh, he did?
Oh, yeah. He said the job ain't over yet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So. This is Pop. This is Pop's legacy. This is Pop's legacy.
Now, you were talking about jocks being taxed.
Yeah, I ran into some stuff, and I'm always reading, researching, and I just had to do a deep dive on this jock tax, and I'm like, what is this about? How are you going to charge athletes more money, a special tax because they come into your city for a night or 3 at the most to play a game that's making you money? How does that work? How did the Players Association agree to that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so I did some deep digging, and the high points are it really started in 1991 when the Bulls, won one of their championships, and then all these other states started to jump on. There's still a few states that don't do it, but to me, it just didn't make any sense to create a tax on top of a tax. An athlete, or that's like you work for a big corporation. You work for Google out in California. Yeah. They send you on assignments to see clients all over the world. And they you go to Asia, Australia, UK, Africa, whatever. And those continents or countries within the continent tax you based on bringing business and doing business on the continent. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No. How's that work? And then it didn't make any sense. Point 2, which was, well, hold on. The athletes come in, they play, people show up, buy tickets. That's money to the league and to the state. The concessions, people got to eat, people got to park, people got to buy merch. All these things benefit that city,
Yeah.
right? So, and then you're telling me the athlete has to pay tax in the state that his team actually is in on top of that? That doesn't make any sense.
It's crazy. It's
And
crazy.
then the third point I saw that came out, well, the owners of the teams don't pay a special tax. They have some sort of tax loophole that they're able to leverage. So the guy who's a multi-billionaire who owns the team doesn't pay this kind of tax. Actually, he makes money. So I'm sitting here going, what is the Players Association doing? These guys should not be paying this tax.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense any way you cut it. Then the funny, crazy thing is, because I have some friends who played in the NBA, so they roll into a town. What do you think they're doing? They're eating, they're consuming, they're driving or using a taxi. So they're spending money and getting taxed anyway. So
Yep.
why would you sit another tax on them? So I just had to have us talk about it because I don't know for who's the head of the Players Association, but y'all need to figure that out
Mm.
because that doesn't make any sense. The billionaire on the team pays less tax than the player on the court. Makes no sense.
Mm. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But speaking of players, now we all know that the Giants traded Dexter Lawrence to the Bengals,
Oh yeah,
so for a number 10 pick. So
oh
now
yeah.
then the Bengals hurry up and sign him to that extension for 28 mil for 1 year.
Oh, I know they had to do that. But you know what? We're going to talk about that on one of our next shows. Like when you see that number, 28, 30, whatever, Smarter fan folks, you need to cut that number because we just talked about it. The real number is half.
Mm.
It's really 12 million. It's not 28 million. He's not getting 28 million. He's getting 12 million. Somebody signs for 60? No, it's 15.
So
It
now he's
just looks sexier when you say the big number. They
mm.
don't account for the tax. Uncle
Yeah.
Sam gets his big off the top. Again, then why are you adding an additional jock tax when you're taking that much money from a guy? Think about
Well,
it. That's crazy.
now on top of that, he's coming off of a subpar season, right? Which
Mm-hmm.
which Carl Banks called him out on,
Uh-huh.
you know, and so I mean, Carl Banks basically said that the players don't even respect him that he's playing against.
Wow.
So yeah.
Well, the Bengals really don't have much choice to do. What are they going to do? They just lost the kid Hendrick because they didn't want to pay him.
Mm.
So they got to fill the gap.
Yeah, but but they started shelling out money because they got the boy Maffey, the edge rusher from Seattle.
Uh-huh.
They got him, and then they signed a former Vikings defensive lineman Jonathan Allen,
Yep.
and then they got the former chief safety Brian Cook. So they're actually putting out the money, strangely enough. But
Well, they got to do something to keep Joe and those two receivers there. I
yeah,
just don't think they just don't have the DNA. They just
right,
don't.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
trying. They just don't have the DNA, bro. They just
yeah.
don't have it. They don't have it. So they're trying to do something to show good faith that we're really trying, and but they just don't. Mark my words. It's on tape. It's on tape.
Yeah, you've been saying that.
Listen, Joe Burrow's out of there, man. He's out of there. This next year or the year after, he's out of there. You know what I mean? They just don't have the DNA, and it's not even. It's just their culture. It's just who the Bengals are, man. They just got bad juju.
Yep, yep, they do. So now the media, friend or foe?
Man, that was another. There's like three angles to that, but I'm going to talk about the angle that we're talking about that comes up a lot, like with the Hall of Fame,
Hmm.
media, friend or foe. So what I found out is that a lot of these guys who don't get in, if they weren't particularly friendly or engaging, or they just didn't make a lot of noise. I mean, Holt came to work. He was very,
Yeah. Yeah.
blue collar. You know what I mean? And that's why it was really confusing to me, because Marvin Harrison wasn't a big talker in Indy. He wasn't. So why you love him, it just didn't make any sense. So, yeah, and so media, and again, that's to me overreaching. You should not have that much influence on a guy who has numbers. And one of the glaring things that came out, part 2, media friend or foe, is this line they keep trying to make people believe about Terrell Owens. They keep harping on this divisive, this. But notice you don't hear any of that from his teammates. Now, hold on. If this guy is this, that you media guys are saying, some of you, then shouldn't that be really echoed from his teammates that he played with, who would really know him? Well, so something shady there. You're not in the locker room. You're not in the practice. You're just judging on what may be, because you can't deny the dude played the Super Bowl with a broken leg. He could have laid it down. The dude's numbers are off the chain. Again, why are we even having a discussion of him having issues getting into the Hall of Fame? Personal stuff again from these people who throw rocks and hide their hands. And so this behavior from some of these outlets is ridiculous, and it's ruining the game, because it's not about what you. It's just ruining it. It's just ruining it. So in many ways, if you notice, I mean, you have to ask yourself again. Here's a repeat: Drew Pearson, all-world receiver for the Cowboys, and what he had to go through to get into the Hall of Fame. So his running back's in the Hall of Fame, his linemen's in the Hall of Fame, his quarterback's in the Hall of Fame, but he's not in the Hall of Fame. But he's the number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
So how do you justify that? And it's been at least 30 years since he's played, and he's just got in.
At least, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So again, they're ruining the game, and media can be your friend or foe, but I think what will happen and can happen now, which is a good thing, because you see it kind of, it's really showing these people up and their bias, and they're ruining the game. It's really showing up now in this digital situation, because now I don't need to necessarily look at us, right? We're able to get online and talk and get right to our fans, right? And tell a different perspective that many fans, if not most fans, have been thinking anyway.
Yeah, and we're going to have to stop right there.
You poked the bear tonight. I
know.
You know how I feel about this.
Yeah. So, hey, it's the same way I feel about my Yankees. So,
I tell you, let me just chew on that bone. Well, as we always say on Smarterfan podcast, Joe,
stay in the game.
Stay in the game, folks. We appreciate you. Thanks to all the continents for rocking with us. Continue to rock with us, and see you next week. And keep checking us out on our posts and videos. They're getting better and better, and we're just creating more content for you guys to engage with. And then remember, the website will be up by the end of the month. So stay tuned.
All right. Good night, folks.
Good night.
Smarterfan.